Okay, Grayson is napping in our bedroom in his bassinet, and so let's hope we can make it through this. Okay, so I remember when I was pregnant that these were some of the most helpful videos for me, though, like what's in my hospital bag and then the reacting to it after the fact. I obviously went into this as a first-time mom not knowing at all what to pack. Unfortunately, I also didn't get much help from my hospital and like providing me some feedback on what to pack. They did give me a list, but I don't know, I felt like the list wasn't like all that comprehensive. So I'm gonna go over my YouTube video we posted before we had Grayson all about what's in my hospital bag, and then I will like commentate on that, on whether or not I actually used them or anything. One thing I do want to mention as a disclaimer before we even get started is that I went into my labor and delivery with the intention of having like a natural vaginal birth. That was my goal. That was like all I mentally was prepared for. That's all I ever wanted to happen. I was getting induced, so I had a little bit of like planning going into that ahead of time, but I expected it to be just a natural vaginal birth, and we did not have that. We had a C-section, and that changes some of the stuff that I packed, or like some of my feedback about like why I would or would not bring certain things. Now, knowing what I went through with the C-section, keep that in mind while you're watching this video, is that we did have a C-section, and these are my recommendations based on that experience. Time, Mom. So okay, I'm gonna just skip ahead to what I packed. Firstly, I do want to mention I love that we brought like a hard-cased suitcase and then like a bag for baby. I wanted to pack as minimally as possible, and so just having like those two bags was really nice. All of these, what are they called? Like nursing camisoles, like they have a little bit of padding. Love the nursing camisoles. Still love them now, wearing one now. They were great. I think I wore them in the hospital. Honestly, it's been 2 months now, so it's hard to remember, but I believe that I wore them in the hospital and I liked them. I love them now, so I'm sure I wore them. Let's skip ahead. I have a couple pairs of socks, so just like a white pair, a black pair, and then a fuzzy pair of socks to wear and chillin'. Most of the time I'll probably be in these fuzzy socks, at least that's the plan. Socks, definitely good. I wore them non-stop, just like fuzzy socks. I'd bring like a couple pairs. We were in the hospital for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days, and I did not bring enough socks. I wound up wearing the same fuzzy pair like a few days in a row, which didn't bother me, but it might bother you. So be sure to bring lots of socks because you could be there for longer than you expect, especially if you have a C-section. Basically all of the clothes for me I have in black because, well, one, I wear black almost exclusively anyways, but two, I just wanted dark colors because I don't know what's going to be going on around there, and I don't want to like have a light color on that's like really, that gets nasty easy. So when I talk about like dark and light colors, I do think that's probably a lot more relevant if you're having a vaginal birth, where I wouldn't, you bleed still when you have a C-section, but I never felt like I was like making a mess of things. So I would still pack black clothes like the next time I have a baby, just because that's mostly what I wear anyways and what I would like. But I wouldn't say that it's as necessary as like I made it out to seem. Definitely probably don't wear like white pants or something, but I never felt like I was like making a mess. Oh, Grayson's grunting. And then this is the top. It's just a t-shirt with buttons. So I guess I could leave the buttons open and wear like one of those. So I did not wear that gray outfit. No reason other than I just didn't gravitate towards it. Next you'll see, I think I talk about the robe that I brought, and I wound up wearing that a lot. I wish I would have had like, or not the robe, the button down gown, dress, pajama gown. I wish I had like 3 or 4 of those because that's what I loved to wear, and I wore that a lot when we first came home too. I'm gonna go give him his pacifier. Somebody just wanted to join our video. Yeah, come on this side so Mommy can hold her laptop. Say hello to the viewers. Okay, so I did wear the robe and the nightgown like exclusively the whole time I was there. I basically lived in those two things, so if you would get anything from like the clothing section of my haul, it would be to go to Target and get their robe, the Stars Above brand robe, and the nightgown with the buttons that go all the way down, because that's what I wore nonstop. The next thing I talk about in the video is the Freedom Mom gown, hospital gown. I had actually gotten that from a friend, so of course I was just going to bring it along. It's definitely not something I was like, I bought myself or was thinking of buying, but since I got it, it was kind of nice to have and to use. I labored in that until we decided I needed a C-section. So it was nice to have something comfy to wear, but the only thing, the biggest suggestion I would have for you would be that when they decided to give me, like, to have a C-section, they could not unbutton the entire thing, so I think it still needed to like go over my head, which made it kind of a pain because they were just trying to have me lay in the bed and then like do everything to me to get ready, whereas the ones at the hospital are kind of meant to break away and to just be able to pull off real easy. This one, they had to, I believe they had to send it over my head, either that or the buttons were on the back. I can't remember exactly, but they did not love the way that it like came apart. It would have been better if I was in the hospital gown, which would just have broken away. The hospital gowns from the hospital were definitely like nasty, so I didn't love it, and I'm glad I had this to labor in. I just wonder if there's like a better option out there that like has better snaps or breaks away a little bit better for them. So I brought an option for both. Either way though, I am gonna do, it's either black bottoms, and then I have two different like green, army green colored tops. So one of them is just a t-shirt, because if I end up wearing like loose black sweatpants, I'll just want to wear like a plain t-shirt with it. And then if I wind up wearing my tighter leggings, or I'm also bringing tighter like biker shorts as well, then I have this green, it's like a dress or like t-shirt dress. As for my going home outfit, I wound up wearing the leggings with the green, actually I don't even know, 1 minute. I have a going home, yeah, there we go. I wear the green t-shirt with like black pants, and that was just what was comfiest to me at the time. Both of my going home options were great though, so like I think that either way anybody would have been happy in either of those. I'm gonna skip over like the laptop and electronic stuff. That was all obviously super helpful to have, but that's specific to us because we were posting videos, we were watching like different shows and things and entertaining ourselves with our computers and our iPads and stuff. So just bring what technology you think you need. Obviously none of it is essential, just like whatever you need to like occupy yourself or to do what you need to do while you're at the hospital. But then I have some regular white, like I think these were from Target, super cheap flip-flops to wear in the shower and just to kind of wear around the hospital if I want to wear flip-flops. And then I have these sandals, which are slides from Steve Madden that are covered in dog and cat hair. It's just like story of our life around here. But I have these sandals that I'll be wearing kind of like slippers whenever I want to walk around, but they're hard, nice soles, so those will be nice to walk around the hospital in. I like never wore those sandals. I only wore the fuzzy socks and just kind of walked around in my socks. And we also didn't leave the room very much because at the time COVID had locked down the hospital again, so if we left the room we had to wear our mask, and also we weren't allowed to leave the maternity ward at all, period. So we just never really left our room, so I never felt like I needed to put shoes on. I just wore those fuzzy socks all of the time. Okay, toiletry stuff is the next section of that video. I mentioned not bringing my own toiletries, like shampoo and conditioner and body wash and all that stuff. I did wind up doing that. I went to CVS and got the little containers and filled them up with my own stuff. I am glad I did because I never stayed at a hospital before, so I didn't know what to expect, but I think I was thinking a little bit more like it was going to be like a hotel in there because it's like a room that people stay in, and it wasn't. That's just me being naive. I'm sure if I had brought nothing, the hospital would have provided me with something. But I'm glad I did bring my own because when I did wind up showing up and using the restroom area, there was nothing in there for me. And so bringing my own basically saved me. One thing to consider, I think I was fine, but I would consider if you are particular about your towels to bring your own towel because the hospital towels were absolutely awful. But I didn't mind. I just needed like 2 or 3. But if you know you're going to care, that's something you could bring. I think Trevor might bring it in the future when we have new kids for himself. But I don't think that I need one. I just had to use a bunch of the hospital towels. And then also in my toiletry bag, I threw in a couple bags of my Care Of. These are my prenatal and all my other vitamins. So I'm bringing these in here as well. And then I have a whole bunch of hair ties because you never know. I didn't wind up needing to bring my vitamins because they gave me pills and I told them what I was taking and the hospital provided it. So again, it took up like no room in my bag, so I'm glad I brought it, but I didn't wind up needing it. Get by and feel fine with whatever the hospital provides me. That being said, and just in general, I should preface that we're giving birth like literally in the same town that we live in, and it's like less than a 5-minute drive to the hospital. And as of right now, my husband can come and go. So if we need something, or if I'm like, no, it'd be really nice if I had that Freedom On Perry bottle that I have at home, I'm hating what the hospital provided me, blah, 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 I can have him run home and get it for me. So little did I know we weren't going to be able to leave the hospital. Literally the day before we were induced, COVID numbers started going up again. So we were told that we could not leave, like I had mentioned. So I had the intention of not bringing a bunch of things because I just wanted to be able to run home if I needed it. I thought that that was a thing that we could do. But when I found out we couldn't, I threw a bunch of my postpartum things in my bag. Having a C-section, the biggest thing that I enjoyed that I had was the diapers, the Depends diapers, which I think I show them here in just a minute. And I think that's really all that I used as far as like my own postpartum stuff. The hospital provided me with a lot. I loved the wet wipes that the hospital had. So if you don't think your hospital is going to provide you wet wipes, definitely bring your own, because that was a godsend for me. I had no pain down there because I didn't have a vaginal birth, but I was still like bleeding. So it was mostly just like taking care of myself as if I had a period that was like really bad. So having the diapers was really nice because it just made it so convenient, and I could just like slip those on and everything. I wore those a lot for the first like week or two when we were home. But after a C-section birth, you are just bleeding down there, but there's not really like a whole lot of pain because, I mean, he didn't come out of down there. So yeah, just like prepare yourself like a period if you're planning on a C-section. And then taking care of my like incision site was all left up to the hospital. There was really nothing I could have done to prepare for that and to bring. You're okay. Just whatever clothes that you pack, make sure that you're aware of where like your waistband and stuff hits you, because you're not going to want it to be like hitting right on that scar, or I guess it's not a scar, it's an incision, but you're not going to be wanting it to hit on the incision. So just make sure that like your pants, whatever you bring, doesn't rub. Okay. He's eating. This is getting more difficult. Baby's bag is super exciting. This is actually going to be baby boy's diaper bag. So I filled it kind of like a diaper bag. I know obviously I don't need all of the things that you would put in a diaper bag. It's his diaper bag, and then it also has all of his clothes in it. So I was totally right. I needed nothing out of the diaper bag portion of this. Literally the only thing I needed for him at the hospital was the outfits I wanted to put him in. Other than that, the hospital had everything for me. And I'm just gonna kind of, to keep this decently short, skip over everything that I talk about in that bag, because I brought a swaddle and then a whole bunch of pointless stuff I didn't even need, and then an outfit for him. And I have been telling all my pregnant friends and everything that my big thing was, I don't think that bringing an outfit is necessary. You do not know what size they are going to be or anything like that. And his outfit wound up being huge on him. And I don't even think it looked cute because it was so big on him. What I would do next time is just bring onesies in like newborn size, and then also in like 0 to 3 or something like that. So just bring like a bunch of different sizes of onesies, and then bring all kinds of cute swaddles, because when I was like taking pictures of him and stuff, that's all I really cared about was swaddles, and I'd only brought one swaddle. So I wish I would have brought like different colors, different patterns, different options for that, because that's what like was cute and I was taking pictures in. When he was staying in the hospital for like the 3 or 4 days, the hospital provided us with this little like button like snap away outfit he had on, and then they had a Halo sleep sack that we used for him. So the only thing that we needed was anything we wanted for pictures, and I wish instead of outfits I would have focused on just bringing swaddles. So then I talk about the big things that I brought, like my water bottle, the boppy, stuff like that. I'm glad we brought a boppy, and Trevor is so glad we brought a blanket because he used that a lot. I mean, I did sometimes, but it was more for Trevor and making him comfortable. So we'll definitely be bringing the boppy and the blanket whenever we have another child. I don't use the boppy much now, but in the hospital when I was adjusting to everything and didn't even like really know how to hold him, it was nice to have the boppy, and Trevor really likes the boppy. So we'll bring the boppy for our next baby in the hospital as well. Trevor also brought his own pillow, which he really enjoyed having because he stayed on a very uncomfortable couch the entire time. I didn't bring my own pillow, and I don't think that I would next time either. We had unlimited pillows, basically as many as I wanted from the hospital, so while they might have not been the comfiest, I could like kind of stack them around me. So to wrap up this video, I do want to talk about a few things that maybe I would bring again in the future that I didn't bring here. I think next time I want to focus a lot more on my own comfort as far as C-section, because I don't plan on right now just having a VBAC. I'll just plan on doing a C-section from now on for all of our future children. So I'm going to be bringing a lot more specific for that because I know what I'm getting myself into. That would include things like I already brought like the diapers, the Depends diapers for me, and then definitely some more comfy clothes. I think last time I was so interested in like looking cute and all that kind of stuff, and we hardly even vlogged after he was born in a way that I would need to look like cute while I was like recovering. So I think I'll bring like that gown and that robe from Target that I liked, but then I'm gonna bring like a lot more just like sweatpants and sweatshirts because that's what we live in now, and that's what makes us like super happy and super comfy right now. I didn't wind up bringing a pump, and I didn't bring like my Haka or anything like that, and I don't think that I would bring that in the future. I did wind up using a pump while I was at the hospital because he needed to be force fed. If you haven't watched our video about gestational diabetes that we posted maybe a month ago, I definitely would check that out because I talk about his story a little bit more, and we talk about how we needed to kind of force feed him. So we were supplementing with formula, which made me super nervous about breastfeeding, so I did pump because I was worried that I wasn't going to like get my supply in. But I don't think that I will need to do that again in the future, mostly just because I'm more established and knowledgeable about breastfeeding, and hopefully we just kind of know what we're doing a little bit more. I think last time I was just like super scared, and I wanted to pump because I was like nervous, but this time I probably won't be nervous. So I don't think it's necessary that I bring a pump or anything, because I think at that moment it's more important that you focus on baby and establishing that breastfeeding connection with baby rather than like using your time to like pump anything. Speaking of gestational diabetes and knowing what we went through with that and having to like force feed him, one thing that I'll probably do with our next baby, especially if I'm diagnosed with gestational diabetes again, is pump beforehand. So maybe just even hand express or anything like that, but get some colostrum in syringes, because if we have the experience that we had last time where we need to feed him extra to get his sugars up, then I would have liked to have some of my own breast milk to give him as like in syringes. So the first like week or two before I go in for my C-section, if that's like a thing where we know we have gestational diabetes and stuff, then I would have liked to have some syringes of colostrum. If you don't have gestational diabetes or anything like that, I mean, it might be helpful to have, but I don't think it's super necessary. I just need it because I know I'll be needing to feed him more than what we're prepared to feed him in that moment. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself, and I think that I packed pretty well considering I wasn't planning for a C-section. The nice part is, and I said this a lot in my original video, the hospital does give you most of the things that you need as far as your care. After that, it's about your comfort. So what you need to make yourself feel comfortable. So I hope this is helpful. I know a lot of you who are here are probably just watching a million like what's in my hospital bag videos, because I definitely did the exact same. So if you have any questions or want to know like anything about, oh, do I need to bring this? Feel free to leave it down below and I'll give you my feedback based on my experience. Just know that you will probably go from video to video and talk to all kinds of different people, and they're definitely going to tell you all different things because we all have different experiences while we're in the the hospital. And we also all have different ways we need to feel comfortable. And remember, that's like the biggest thing, because your hospital's going to provide you what you need for as far as care. It's just what's going to make you feel comfortable. And that's going to be it from us in this video. Oh, you popping out to say hello? That's going to be it from us in this video. Oh, good one, bud. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye! Nice way to end it. Good job.